This is Perverse Mentality, and I'm doing an album review for Slipknot. This is a rare review. I normally don't do metal reviews, but since we're talking about album reviews for this channel, I'm gonna just do this album review for We're Not Your Kind, and because I'm a metal fan, but I'm also a hip hop fan, so. This is not a metal channel. This is a hip hop channel, but I'm still doing metal reviews because I'm into metal as well. So just to let you know, this is basically it's normally hip hop that I do on this channel. So if you don't get too much metal reviews, don't really complain. It's periodically I'm gonna put them out. So just be on the lookout for that. So let's get into it. I was waiting for Slipknot to come out with an album, like a heavy album. I was waiting for them to come out with a heavy album, but I was I was so psyched for this album, man. It was a lot of good songs on there. Yeah, like when you first open up the album, you had the Insert Coin interlude. I've noticed the album had like a lot of interludes. It had a lot of interludes. Um, it had songs like Unsainted. It had Birth of the Cruel. That was a really good song. Really brutal. Really heavy guitar riffs. Death Because of You. It's really called Death Because of Death. That was an interlude song. It was kind of different. Neo Forte was like, man, it had a lot of nostalgia. It had a lot of nostalgia. Had the melodic sound, very melodic, very nostalgic. Um, Critical Darling was a heavy song. Now when we got to A Liar's Funeral, that's when it was like very snuffish. And this is gonna be a longer review because I have to really get into the meat of what I'm talking about here. This is not gonna be a short review. This is gonna be pretty long because as a metal fan, I'm really into like, you know, the really metal of this album. I'm really a big Slipknot fan. I normally listen to Korn, but I'm really big into Slipknot. I can't wait till Korn's new album comes out. I might do a review on that. Um, so A Liar's Funeral kind of sounded like Snuff. It had the melodic sound of Snuff, where he's singing like a love story. Had that Snuff vibe to it. Um, then you had Spiders. Spiders was really like horror themed, horror vibes. It had that horror vibe to it. And with the heavy guitars, I really love Spiders, man. That was a good song. Um, that was a really good song, Spiders. I really like that song. Then you had Orphan. That was a heavy track. A lot of people talked about Orphan being heavy. It had that old school vibe to it. From Iowa. My Pain was a slow song. That was a slow song. It went for a long time. It was really long. It kind of like went like kind of drowned out. I had to really listen to that. Oh, I forgot about the Red Flag. Red Flag was a heavy, hard hitting track. It had that All Hope Is Gone vibe. It really reminded me of All Hope Is Gone. That was a really heavy track, man. Like I heard a lot of people said a lot of good things about Red Flag. When I heard it, it had a lot of heavy riffs to it. It's kind of sounded like All Hope Is Gone. It had that the main album was pretty much it was like Iowa mixed with All Hope Is Gone. I don't care what nobody said. It had the old school vibe to it, but it kind of sounded like All Hope Is Gone mixed with Iowa a little bit. if you really listen to it, some people said it sounded like Volume 3, which I kind of agree. It kind of had those vibes, kind of had that on Neo Forte, kind of had that alone or Before I Break kind of vibe. But no, Before I Forget, my bad. Before I Forget kind of vibe. Yeah, but Not Long for This World was a very dark, somber track. It was very dark and somber. It had some screams, some very somber instrumentals, some low tune riffs. Um, so it was a very sad song, just kind of like Elias Funeral. But I really like Elias Funeral because it builds up and then it gets more heavy. It gets more heavy. So if you haven't listened to the album, I'm pretty much spoiling the album for you, but I would definitely go cop this album. It got leaked before it really came out, so I had listened to the album like 3 times when it first came out. I definitely would cop it. I would go stream it. I would go buy it. Most definitely, I would go buy it for real, man. This was a good album. Soul Wave First. That album, that song was very heavy. Very heavy, very brutal. It kind of sounded like death metal. It had that death metal vibe to it. Um, it had a real death metal vibe to it. So yeah, I really like um the Soul Wave First album. So that was a really hardcore track, and I really like that song. And this album is #1 in the charts, and I see why, man. Because it's such a good album, man. It's a really hard hitting album. Like I said, I don't normally do metal reviews. I normally do hip hop, but I have to do this review because it's such a good album. And I do metal reviews. I mean, not metal reviews, but hip hop reviews. I do album reviews all the time. So this channel is basically for hip hop and album reviews. So this is a rare metal video. So if you're looking for metal all the time, you're pretty much not gonna find it. But this is a metal review. So I hope you get used to this. Soul Wave First was a good song. Very heavy, had death metal vibes. And when I first heard the song, I was like, yo, Slipknot is coming back. Slipknot is coming back. Because they posted the video on YouTube. And I was like, Slipknot is coming back, man. That's what I thought when I first heard that song. I was like, Slipknot is coming back. So, it was a good album, man. I definitely would go buy it. Um, you know, Go buy it, man. Go stream it. A hardcore, heavy hitting album. It's We Are Not Your Kind, man. Just go stream it. And I think that ends the album review. I would rate it a 9.1 out of 10. Very decent album. Very decent. Pretty much had the same impact as Iowa, in my opinion. It had the same impact as those albums. It's probably gonna go down in history as one of the best albums they've done in a long time. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to them getting awards. So that pretty much wraps up this album review for We Are Not Your Kind. This is Perverse Mentality, and I'm signing out. And if you wanna look at more metal album reviews, they might come out. If a new album comes out, I might do the Korn review. But I have to listen to the album like a lot of times. It's not going to be like every day or just every so now and then I might do a metal review. So just don't be looking for it every day. I normally do hip hop. So just to clarify that once again. Okay, this is Perverse Mentality, and I'm signing out. Peace.